Hi, this is DrayYoutube584. And do you remember my list of my best days from 2019? Well, now I'm doing my best days from this year that I'm talking about now, 2018. Some of you may ask me, when will I do this in 2020? I know my top 10 best days in 2020, but the days weren't as good as that year. Well, the days weren't as good that year because of the pandemic. So it won't be as interesting of a list. So I'm gonna do this year for now. Remember, these lists aren't based off of. See, it's not based off. This list isn't gonna be based off like historical events that made me happy. It's gonna be based off of stuff I did that were cool. Let's get started. Number 10. May 6th. On this day, my school district was having a carnival or something like that. And I went there with Poppy and my cousins, Tyler, Nove, and Jaden. I can remember seeing many students that I know. I saw one classmate from ESY school that I saw the summer before. Yeah, and see, the picture I used is because one of the things I did there was like, I was climbing up a rock wall. And that was when I saw that kid from my some ESY school the summer before. And number 9, September 18th. My cousin Tyler's birthday is on September 18th. He turned 12 years old that year. Now that day for his birthday, I went to an indoor place with race cars and we raced each other. It was my first time ever doing that and I had fun. I've never done it since, but it would be cool to do it again. So yeah, I remember I enjoyed doing it. It was something that was much different than anything I've ever done. It made me kind of feel like I was a major league race car driver. And it was a great feeling. Number 8. August 24th. On the top 10s, I have this listed as August 12th. Even though the date's wrong, this was actually the day when I did what I did. How I found out was looking through my text messages, and I told someone on this day that I went. Or some other way I found out. So my grandfather Poppy took out his boat to the bay, and I went on it with my cousins Tyler, Nove, and Jaden. When we were on it, we used a float that we could go on to ride. It was kind of aggressive because the boat was going fast, but that's what made it fun. And it wasn't my first time doing this. I did it in 2017 as well. And I also did it in 2020. And in case you're wondering, we did wear life jackets to avoid anything bad happening. We all had a fun time. Number 7. May 10th. So I went on my 6th grade field trip at school that day. I went to Tall Pine State Camp. Yes, I did a few cool things there. I stayed with one of my friends and my English teacher. The coolest thing I did there was going ziplining. I thought it would be scary, but it actually wasn't so bad. It was nice. I remember while I was there, the lady was about to push me off and was slowly saying 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, no, don't even do that. The suspense is just unbearable. Well, and then after that, I went paddling on a small lake. Then at the end of the trip, I played miniature golf. This is somewhere where I'll definitely go again. Like, it wasn't a very overwhelming place, but it was still beautiful. And the whole day, I felt happy that I did something. I did ziplining, which is something a lot of people would be afraid of. Number 6. November 17th. If you've seen number 6 on my favorite days in 2019 video, I did the same thing on this day as I did on that day. I went to Funplex. Except this time it was for my cousin James' birthday instead of mine. His birthday is on the 19th of November. If you didn't hear before in the other video, I'll tell you what stuff this place has. There's bumper cars, laser tags, 2 little rides, a virtual reality game, and we played arcade games. We went bowling the last time we went in 2019, but this time we did the arcade games instead. I hope we get to go again sometime like we did in 2018 and 2019. And this year, that's what we might be doing for my birthday, because I suggested it. And possibly we'll get to go here again. That'll be cool. Then July 29th. On that day, I went to Ocean City with my dad and my cousin Tyler. First we rode on a few rides. We rode the double shot. And then we rode this ride called Extreme Cyclone. I was terrified on it. It spins at high speed in the air while you're going all over the place, and it was too much. I kept screaming, "Help me!" over and over again. Yeah, I'm dead honest. I actually was screaming that. Aside from that, my day was wonderful. After going on some rides, we went out to a restaurant on the boardwalk. It was a pizza place. Even though I didn't get pizza, I got a meatball sandwich. And then later in the evening, we played miniature golf, and it was a neat place. See, it was like a pirate's golf. That's where we played. Number 4. October 20th. For those of you who don't know, my birthday is on October 10th, and I turned 13 years old in 2018. Yeah, I know. My birthday is going to be next Sunday, and I'll be 16. So my mom planned a big birthday party, because 13 is a special birthday, because I became a teenager. This day is right in between my birthday and Halloween. We had a Halloween-themed party. And no, this is not a picture from the party. It's just a picture I found on the internet. And I had a lot of family and friends over, and we all even wore Halloween costumes. You want to know what I was that year? Remember the video of me pretending to get angry at me playing Mario Kart 8 in an astronaut costume? Well, it was from what I wore this year. I wanted to be an astronaut for Halloween. And while we were there was even a photo booth in her house. And this was without a doubt my most epic birthday party ever. Number 3. August 30th. Though I went on a vacation in 2018 to Virginia with Mom, John, and Mom's friend Connie, along with Connie's husband and 2 daughters. This was my second day there, and we went to the water park, Water Country, USA. We went on water slides, and I even rode the tallest water slide there. I was a little scared to get on it, but I still did it, and I loved it. I also went to the wave pool, and I had much fun. And there was a lot of cool stuff we saw. Also after we went out to eat that night. I forget the name of the restaurant, but it was a seafood place. And we all went out together. I think this might be the first time I went to a water park. And the only time too. No, but did I enjoy it? Absolutely. If we ever go back to Virginia, we should definitely go here again. Then number 2. July 9th. This day was my first day in my summer program at school. And after I went, I had a surprise vacation to Seattle City with a lot of my family. We stayed in a big shore house. Every other time I went, I was in a little shore house. But this time, I went with a whole bunch of people, so I was in a big one. I went to the beach, and I went to the Ocean City Boardwalk for a little while. I had so much fun. What made this day even more fantastic was the fact that, like I mentioned, is that it was my first day of the year in the summer program at school, and it was nice to see everyone again. Also, I don't go there for like bad grades. It's just like an interaction thing. It's not like any real schoolwork. I went to see how many times before, but this one was probably the best one yet. Before I get to the very best day of the year, let's go over some honorable mentions. April 22nd. On that day, my baby cousin Ronnie got baptized in church. After that, we went to a party for it. I saw most of my family there, and we stayed in a room. I also went outside, and there was a lake by us. So yeah. I also saw a lot of people that I hadn't seen before. June 24th. Although June 24th was a really tough day this year, at least it was good in 2018. I went to the Atlantic City beach with Mom and John. In 2019, I went to the same beach on June 26th, except I went with my dad. In 2012, when I was only 6 years old, I also went to the Atlantic City beach, and there were seagulls trying to steal my honey mustard pretzels. I was absolutely addicted to those pretzels when I was 6. I was slipping out. And it's because I was one of the pickiest eaters in the whole world back then. Fortunately, that didn't happen on this day. No seagulls tried to steal our food, and I had fun at the beach. July 10th. Like I already mentioned, I was in Sea Isle on the day before this, and I was still there on this day. I went out for breakfast in the morning. Then I went on the boardwalk for a while before going back to the shore house for dinner. We left and went back home that night. Fortunately, the end of this vacation didn't suck like the end of both of my vacations in 2019. Both of those ended terribly. Yet this one ended just fine, which is good. November 22nd. In my opinion, the holidays from 2018 weren't super exciting. In my opinion, 2016 had the best holidays for me. Even Christmas wasn't that exciting in my opinion that year. But the holiday that stands out the most was Thanksgiving, which was this day. I went to John's sister Jen's house, and I played video games with John's niece Sally. Like, I put this game in particular I remember playing, the Sonic Racing game. This was a very good Thanksgiving, and I even had on YouTube me asking my family what they're grateful for and what their favorite Thanksgiving food is on that same day, even though I didn't get uploaded until a couple months later. Also, I asked John's 6-year-old great-nephew, Caden, how old he thinks I was, and he said I am 7 or 8. That was funny because I was 13 at the time. December 30th. I had a really fun night because I went bowling with a lot of my family. I knocked many pins down, which made this day even better. One of the people I bowled with is my cousin Nathan, which was cool because I rarely see him. I only see him once or twice every year. Because he lives not far away. And now that we got through my honorable mentions, it's time to reveal my best day of the entire year. That goes to August 29th. Now, do you remember when I told you I went to Virginia on vacation on number 3 on this list? That was our second day on vacation. This was our first day. We got up early in the morning to go there because it was by far the longest ride it was by far the longest car ride I've ever been in. It took 6 hours to get there. It was by far my longest car ride, but I didn't mind it. I went to the Busch Gardens on this day. We did so much there, and that place was awesome. There were sections that represented a different country. We saw a whole bunch of things. John and I even both mentioned this day on my family question video where I asked my family what their favorite summer vacation was. We both picked this one. John and I agreed to this being the best one. I also went with my Aunt Dottie along with my mom's friend and her husband and 2 daughters, like I mentioned before. You want to know what I did that night? Something funny. Aunt Dottie has the loudest snoring ever, so I tried to sleep in the bathtub and use a towel and washcloth as a blanket and pillow. My mom will never forget that. That's a memorable story. I hope we'll go back there again one day. There's a roller coaster I was too scared to go on last time, but I'm definitely going on it next time. It's called Griffin. My mom was in love with that roller coaster. She rode it 1,000,000 times. Okay, if you can remember them, please write in the comments what your top 10 best days in 2018 is. Bye, guys.